Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. So now in this one, we are taking a look at example 7. Now, this is actually quite interesting. I've tried to, play around with the URL as well before I did this video. And here's my solution to this box. So the first strategy that I did was I tried to take a look at these payloads here that you see on the screen. I'll leave this in the description below. And so I tried these payloads. These are just multiple JavaScript payloads, and they didn't actually work the way that I expected it to work. So instead, I kind of wrote my own URL to kind of figure out how to do this. I even played around in the console log. So every time I set a variable, let's say that I set it like just a is equal to, let me zoom in so you can see. So whatever JavaScript code you enter in here, so let's say I want to edit or even just print out the document, not cookie dot body dot style, background is equal to, let's just do light to green. You can see there, whatever code I execute here will affect the page, but that's not the XSS, that's just in the console. So this was my payload. I can actually just rewrite this. So let me just get rid of this actually. So I even tried running a tool called XSS like that, which is basically like it's just a cross-site scripting tool basically it's an automated script that does XSS for you, like these XSS attacks. And so it basically is an automated tool to run XSS attacks against a vulnerable parameter or a URL such as this one. So I have the URL and I have the parameter where I want to inject the cross-site scripting payload, and it will go ahead and do that. But I've also done base64. I've tried other solutions with this tool. You can go here and type in help and you can see how this tool works. And you can inject different types of payloads. You can see here you can do string method, you could do a mix method, so like escaping the characters like code. You can even do decimal encoding, hexadecimal encoding. This is a good way to practice your XSS skills to kind of test these payloads and to figure out the vulnerability on the application. Anyways, so that didn't work at all. So what I decided to do was I decided to go vanilla. And what I mean by vanilla is not using any tools or scripts to attack this parameter. Now, what was interesting was when I went to the source code, so look at the source code with me. So you can see here it has script, right? It has the script tag, and this is the variable. So it's saying hello and then the variable name, right? But it's not actually printing anything onto the field, because when I do hello is equal to declan like that, nothing happens. But if I go to the source code again with the changed, look, you see it changes the code. The question is, how does that happen? Let me show you this basic code here to kind of give you a clearer picture. So you see this PHP code. Now, this is just an example, but look at this. So PHP, this is the start of PHP, and it's just pulling in the header component. And as you can see here, this is the footer component. So for every page that I render or get redirected to, it just renders the component of that header component, the code, basically. It just renders HTML. So whatever's in this file, like the header HTML, or the footer HTML, and also the PHP code within that. So it's like shared components. You can see here that this is JavaScript. So you can see, so this is a script tag. So you can see this is a variable and this is the code. So you can actually embed PHP code within the JavaScript application because it's PHP. It's a PHP file that allows you to write web applications with PHP and JavaScript together. So you can see here it's PHP echo HTML HTML entities, and then it gets the name of the value that's within this string, right? But it doesn't do anything with it. So what is this? Let's search this up. What is HTML entries? So if we go to Firefox and we search up, oh, definitely not that. What is HTML entities? It's a function which converts characters to HTML entities. It's a pattern of characters. So this is the PHP documentation, and you can see here that is kind of what the code is doing, but in order to echo that out, it doesn't really work. So if we just check out this example here, you can see here, this is what it's doing. It's only echoing the string. It doesn't actually do anything. So it just stores that as a string and it executes it. But what I want to do is, you can see here, whatever you type in here, it doesn't matter if it's this, it gets stored in the string. So how do we escape the string? That's a problem, right? So in order to do that, I figured out a solution. So why don't I create like a variable. So let me give you a example. So let's just do this. So I'm going to let a variable called b, right? Because that one's called a, variable a. I'm going to call it b. So let's store it as b. And it's going to be equal to, you can do it like that, equal to document.body. No, but don't, like, you got to hear this out, right? So what I'm doing is I'm writing vanilla JavaScript so that I can place it in here. I'll show you what I was doing before. So document.body.style.background is equal to, and I'll just do light blue like that, okay? But if I copy this, it's not going to work. So this is just basic JavaScript code, but this will not work because if we paste it in, let's paste it in. By the way, I don't know why it keeps doing that. It's actually very annoying. Okay, I might need to do this. Let me save it. So this is the code I want to execute. Let's copy that. So hopefully it doesn't. Okay, it did. Okay, good. There we go. That's not going to work. Why? Because look, you can see that this is still a variable and it's storing the code that I want to be executed, but it's like in the string again. It's still in the string, so it's not going to work and it's just annoying. See, if I go back, you see it didn't execute. So the way that you escape this, what I figured out, a good way to escape it, is that, so the string starts there, right? Add another string at the beginning and add a semicolon. So look, check this out. So if I do up here next to the parameter, another string and a semicolon, see? Now there's nothing in that string. Literally, there's nothing in that string at all. So maybe if I go back now, it still doesn't work. Now, Declan, why doesn't it work? Because we still haven't done, we haven't escaped it yet. So, and by the way, there's different types of variables that you can do. There's let, var, constant, JavaScript, that doesn't matter. This won't affect anything. It's still a variable. But now it's like, okay, Declan, well, how do we escape that? So what I found interesting was that so at the very end here, I want to get rid of this because whatever that's doing, it's affecting this and it's annoying. And by the way, it's within a script, so this will automatically run. So how do I get this to work then? So, okay, I need to get rid of that. So the way that I got rid of that was actually when you code in PHP and with JavaScript as well, mainly JavaScript as well, you can do like slashes like that as a comment. So I'm basically commenting this out. So whatever I put here, this will go away. And if I do that now, you can see it, that's just a comment. This here is just a comment. This is an actual code. So now this should work. This should successfully run. There we go. It did. See? Now I can change the value to blue. I can change the value to light green. It works. XSS, this is still vulnerable to XSS. I can do what I did before. I can, send this to someone. I could get their cookie and so on. Perform session hijacking. Like, this is client-side XSS though. Yeah, that's how I figured that out. It took me a little while to figure it out. I had to write just this snippet of JavaScript code to kind of obfuscate the strings and the characters that was happening within the HTML entities that was preventing me from escaping the variable. So I just did that to escape the variable, and then there we go. It executes the code. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next. In the next video, we'll take a look at example 8. So make sure you stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next.